I grew up in a quiet suburb in Ohio, the kind of place where houses lined up like they had been copied and pasted, and where people smiled at each other even when they didn't mean it. From the outside, my family looked flawless. My dad, Charles, was a respected dentist, the kind people trusted with their teeth but never with their secrets. My mom, Linda, was the sweet volunteer at the local library, beloved by neighbors who thought she was the picture of kindness. And then there was my older brother, Daniel, the shining star, the golden child, the boy who could do no wrong. Daniel was the one my parents bragged about at every family gathering. He was the one teachers held up as an example. He was the one who got attention, praise, and opportunities handed to him like it was his birthright. And then there was me, the other son, the afterthought, the shadow that existed only so Daniel could shine brighter by comparison. I was the backup plan, the one who was expected to sacrifice, to make do, to be responsible while Daniel was allowed to live carefree. When we were little, the favoritism seemed subtle. At Daniel's soccer games, my parents cheered so loudly you'd think he was playing in the World Cup. When I scored, the reaction was polite, restrained, like a slow clap at the end of a boring speech. When Daniel brought home straight A's, the entire house erupted in celebration. Steak dinners, cake, new gadgets. When I brought home straight A's, it was met with a nod and a reminder. That's what we expect from you. It was clear. Daniel's successes were miracles. Mine were obligations. By the time we were in high school, the imbalance had grown into something undeniable. For Daniel's 17th birthday, my parents handed him the keys to a brand new Honda Civic, shiny red leather seats, the works. For mine, I inherited his old Toyota Corolla, dented bumper, peeling paint, and a lecture about how I needed to be grateful and responsible. When Daniel came home an hour past curfew, my parents laughed it off, saying, "Boys will be boys." When I came home 5 minutes late, I was grounded for a week. Every rule that bent for him snapped against me like brittle glass. Still, I swallowed it. I convinced myself that if I worked hard enough, if I proved myself enough, maybe one day I'd get the recognition I craved. But as time went on, I realized that praise and affection were never going to come from them. So, I shifted my focus. I decided I wasn't going to live my life trying to earn their approval. Instead, I would build a life of my own. I worked through high school and college, stacking shifts at the hardware store, taking odd jobs, and saving every dollar I could. While Daniel was out partying with friends, I was working late into the night, my clothes smelling like sawdust and sweat. When Daniel got into trouble, crashing the car, blowing money, skipping classes, my parents bailed him out. When I struggled, I had to fix it myself. It was unfair, but it forced me to grow up faster than him. And eventually, it paid off. By the time I turned 24, after years of working and saving, I finally had enough to put a down payment on a modest townhouse. After we ate, I went upstairs to grab something from my old room. On my way back down, I heard voices in the kitchen, hushed, secretive. It was my parents. "He should let Daniel live there," my mom whispered. "Daniel deserves stability. He has the brighter future." "Yeah," my dad agreed. "He'll step up if he cares about family. He'll do the right thing." My chest tightened. My own parents were plotting to hand over my home, the home I had worked and sacrificed for, to my brother. Not because he needed it, but because they felt he deserved it more. For days, I tried to convince myself I had misunderstood. But then Daniel showed up at my townhouse one evening unannounced, with a smirk on his face and a sense of entitlement radiating off him. He dropped his backpack on my couch like he owned the place and casually started talking about how he'd decorate his room. I blinked at him, stunned. "What are you talking about?" He looked at me like I was stupid. "This place. Mom and Dad said you'd let me live here. You don't need it. You're fine on your own. Come on, don't be selfish." My blood boiled. "No, this is my house. I bought it with my money. You're not moving in." His smile vanished, replaced with a sneer. "Wow, Real nice. After everything I've done for you, you can't even do this one thing? Everything he'd done for me? I wanted to laugh in his face, but I didn't. I just repeated, no. That's when the storm began. My parents called me, furious. My mom cried over the phone, accusing me of being cruel, heartless, ungrateful. My dad shouted, saying that family came before selfishness, that blood was thicker than money. Daniel texted me daily, alternating between guilt-tripping and threatening. At one point, he even claimed he'd take me to court, though he had no legal claim to anything. I didn't cave. For the first time in my life, I stood firm. I documented everything, every manipulative message, every voicemail dripping with guilt, every threat. I wasn't going to let them bully me into giving up what I had earned. And then Daniel escalated. He went online. He posted this long, dramatic rant about how I had betrayed the family, about how I had abandoned him in his time of need. He painted himself as the struggling victim, the poor golden boy left homeless by his cold, selfish brother. At first, people bought it. Sympathy poured in. Friends messaged me, asking how I could do that to my own brother. But I had proof. I took screenshots of his texts, the ones where he mocked me, bragged to his friends about how he'd snatch my house, admitted he was only after what I had built. I posted everything. The tide turned fast. Suddenly, the comments weren't on his side. They shredded him apart. People called him entitled, manipulative, spoiled. His reputation tanked. The fallout was brutal. My parents, embarrassed, withdrew from their social circle. The whispers at church and among neighbors were too much. Daniel's fundraiser, yes, he actually started a GoFundMe for his dream home, was mocked into oblivion. He raised a pitiful amount before deleting it in shame. Even his closest friends began distancing themselves, tired of his constant entitlement. For the first time in his life, Daniel wasn't the golden boy. He was just another spoiled man exposed for what he was. Months later, he showed up at my door looking hollow. His usual confidence was gone. His eyes were sunken, his shoulders slumped. He asked if he could stay, just for a while, until he got back on his feet. I looked at him, my brother. The same brother who had spent years taking everything, demanding more, and trying to strip me of the one thing I had worked so hard for. And I closed the door. Now, my house is quiet, peaceful. In the mornings, I sit on the balcony with a cup of coffee, listening to the sound of silence. No guilt trips, no manipulation, no shouting, just peace. For the first time in my life, I feel free. As for Daniel, from what I hear, he bounces between couches, still looking for someone to rescue him. My parents don't call anymore. They've made their choice, and honestly, I don't miss them. Because for the first time in my life, I am not the other son. I am not the backup plan. I am not the shadow. I am me, and that's enough.
Thank you so much for watching the entire video. Your time and attention mean the world to us, and it's amazing to know you stayed until the very end. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button to show your support and share your thoughts in the comments. We really want to hear what you think and interact with you. And of course, if you're not subscribed yet, click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Every like, comment, and subscription helps us keep creating high-quality content and motivates us to bring new videos regularly. Your support truly makes a difference, and we're so grateful to have you here with us.